Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURATIQAH FARZANA BINTI ANUAR. As a new account executive for Nestle Malaysia Senior Berhad, my teams and I are required to prepare a segmental report and also an interim report for this company. In this video, we will divide into two parts, which is a segmental report and another part is interim report. For part A, there are 4 major topics that we will discuss later, and for part B, there are 5 major topics that we will cover later on. So, let's start our presentation with the company background and the history of the Nestle and how Nestle Malaysia Senior Berhad is begin in Malaysia. Nestle is a multinational company and one of the largest FMCG industry. It begins in 1866 and basically it based on Switzerland. For your information, Nestle Group or Nestle Company has expanded their business and most of the countries has their own company branch. For example, Malaysia. Nestle Malaysia Senior Berhad begins in 1912. Nestle Malaysia Senior Berhad are categorized in the industrial sector. First is manufacturing or producing. Second is marketing and selling nutrition, health and wellness products such as beverage, instant noodle, instant coffee, nuts, and many more. There are 3 subsidiaries for Nestle Malaysia Senior Berhad, which consists of Nestle Products, Nestle Manufacturing Malaysia Senior Berhad, and Nestle Asia Malaysia Senior Berhad. Next, we go to the company history. In 1866, Nestle started with the foundation of the Anglo-Swiss Pharmaceutical Company in Switzerland. Next, in 1867, Nestle's founders, which are called as Harry Nestle, launched the flour with the milk, or we call as a powder milk, and it becomes a phenomenon on that moment in Switzerland. Move forward, in 1905, Anglo-Swiss and Nestle merged to form a Nestle and Anglo-Swiss company. Fast forward, in 1912, Nestle started in Penang, Malaysia, and due to the growth and demand of Malaysia, they moved to Kuala Lumpur on 1939 to expand their business. As of right now, I believe Malaysia has Nestle Malaysia products like Maggi, Milo, KitKat, Nescafe on their list of essential household brands. For more information, actually, Nestle Malaysia Senior Berhad has more than 6 factories in Malaysia and have about 5,000 staff all around the country, and they produce about 500 halal certified products, and they located in Petaling Jaya, Selangor for now.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SITI NABILAH binti ZUBIR. Want to present about the Nestle Malaysia Berhad. So I will focus about the factor of having the consideration segments reporting. They have 3 factors that having a segmentation reporting in a Nestle company, which is first is a nature of the business and product, second is the type of the customer, and third is a method of the distributions. So the nature of the business and the product, we know that Nestle Malaysia Berhad is a multinational company. So they are established of the nutrition, health and the awareness. So Nestle Malaysia Berhad have a produce, food and beverage, and the subsidiaries of the Nestle have engagement of the marketing and the sales of ice cream, order milk, liquid milk, instant coffee, instant noodle, and others products. So the second factor is a type of the customer. We know that the product that produced of a Nestle have no specific for all the level. So the Nestle product have been suitable for the kid and the adults. and it also get the supplier and also suitable for the farmers, entrepreneurs, small entrepreneur to sales of the Nestle product. So the third is a method of the distribution. We know that Nestle Malaysia Berhad has located in the Selangor, but the Nestle have 44 networks in the Malaysia and the Borneo. So it will be engaged that the Nestle Malaysia Berhad will get the sum of the profit from the distribution of the manufacturing company.
Type of a segment. Nestle Malaysia Berhad have three types of the segment, which are demographic segments, physiographic segment, and geographical segment. Demographic segment, Nestle Malaysia Berhad has established by the customer segment, which is considered customer age, customer income, and customer education. Such as if the customer age, Nestle Malaysia Berhad product never offer the same product at a different age group, but Nestle Malaysia Berhad is offer same product which adult and the kid and all the people can buy and eat of that product. Based on the physiographic segments, is Nestle Malaysia Berhad have a lifestyle, or some human can buy or eat some the product of the Nestle. Example, for Kit Kat, someone wants to eat the chocolate, so they buy the Kit Kat of the Nestle. Second is like they want to drink the coffee, so they want get the Nestle 3-in-1 coffee. In segment of geographical segments, Nestle Malaysia Berhad is regionally and globally to manage their business. We move to the chief of decision making and its responsibility. So Nestle Malaysia Berhad of chief of decision making is Mr. Joan Anos as a Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Nestle Malaysia Berhad. So he has a manage of the Nestle business to perform their company. We go the responsibility of Mr. Joan Anos. He has a responsible to the business of a Nestle Malaysia Berhad. And secondly, he have a responsible to establish the policy, the guideline, strategies, objective of the Nestle, as well as providing leadership and direction to the team for a quality of the management. The third is Mr. Joan Anos has identified of the listing of the manager.
My name is Segmental NASRI, and today I'm going to present my part, which is 10%. So, okay, for this assignment, actually we pick company Nestle Malaysia Berhad for year end 2021. Okay, for your information, in Nestle Malaysia Berhad, they have 5 activities. The first one is food and beverage. The second one is nutrition. The third one, the Nestle Professional, Nestle Health Science, and the last one is Nespresso. Okay, for 10% threshold, actually there are 3 main things that we will look at into. Okay, the first one is revenue, and the second one is profit, and the last one is an asset. But however, in this part, I only present for revenue tax. This one is due to limited of information. So as you can see, there is a 5 segment. There is a 5 segment for Nestle Malaysia Berhad as at 31st December 2021. which is consists of food and beverage, nutrition, Nestle Professional, Nestle Hard Sign, and Nespresso. And the total income from all these 5 activities total 5,733,816 ringgit. So from this total of revenue, actually, we'll divide each activity, each income derived from each activity will be divided into the total of revenue. So from there, we'll get the percentage of revenue. Alright, that's the first thing. Okay, the second thing is how you justify whether this activity is segment reportable or not. Okay, for segment reportable, actually, okay, we look at food and beverage. Let's say for food and beverage, sale is at 31st December 2021, 1476877. So we divide by the total of revenue 5,733,816. So from there, after we divide, then we get the percentage is around 26%. So when 26%, this is considered as a reportable segment. That's the first thing lah. And then we move to the nutrition. Okay, from the nutrition also, we can see the percentage of revenue after we divide from the revenue from the nutrition, divide by the total of the revenue during the year. We get around 22%, and for Nestle Professional, we get 23%, and Nestle House-Sign 23%, and the last one is the Nespresso, which is 6%. So how we are going to identify whether each of these activity is segmental report or not? We can we look at the percentage of the revenue. Okay, for food and beverage, the percentage is 26%, and nutrition 22%, Nestle Professional is 23%, and Nestle House-Sign is 23%. And all these 4 activity is segmental report because what? Because of the percentage is more than 10%. However, for Nespresso, this is non-reportable segment because the percentage is only 6% now, which is below than 10%. Thank you.
Moving on from my colleague's presentation just now, so I am SALEHANA binti SALLEHIN. I am here to conclude part A, segmental reporting. So there are advantages and disadvantages of segmental reporting. The advantages that we are going to discuss today is there are 3 advantages that we have identified. First is separation of profitable segments. By narrowing down the information by its categories, Nestle is able to identify in which area that they are performing and vice versa. So the management could take or devise steps to boost up sales of the underperforming categories or to stop production. This can help them make strategic decisions for the company. Second is gives better understanding on the performance of the company. Nestle separates the operation into 2 segments, food and beverages and others, which comprises of nutrition, Nestle Professional, Nestle Health Science and Nespresso. Those classified under others are considered as either regionally managed business or globally managed business, which is Nespresso and only. So the food and beverages is the segment that is generating most of the income at slightly more than 80% of the company's total sales. However, the separation is essential for the board of directors because they believe by doing so, they could have a better evaluation on the performance of the company. The third advantage is to enable investors to better assess the risk and returns of the company. Theoretically, a company that is transparent is more trustworthy than one who hides information. Therefore, by presenting a more detailed report, investors could better assess the company's financial position. As we have discussed the advantages just now, so we are going to proceed with the disadvantages of segmental reporting. There are 2 disadvantages that we have identified. First is to focus on the present and time-consuming process as there are many disclosures required. Segment reporting emphasizes too much on short-term numbers. In the case of Nestle, as we have mentioned before, they separated their segments into 2, the F&B and the others, which had obviously shown that the first division is the most profitable segment. As a result, the others
which comprises of nutrition, Nestle Professional, Nestle Health Science, and Nespresso, might not stand out on the financial statements despite having the potential. They may be newly established or not yet run at full capacity, but the numbers as reference points out that the segmental report may create unnecessary pressure to crunch the numbers to improve short-term earnings. Second is data presented can be misinterpreted by users or manipulated by management. Misunderstandings are likely to be found among investors and creditors about segment information, as they require information of the company as a whole to make a proper decision. Management could also take advantage of the report by window dressing the information to make it appear that they are performing well by grouping together businesses with different business models or high-performing divisions with the least, as the way of grouping is different from company to another, and the base of segmentation is determined by the management themselves. Now we are going to proceed with the part B.
Basis of the preparing the interim report. Nestle Malaysia Berhad prepare the interim report accordance to the requirement of the MFRS that state in paragraph 9.22 the main marketing listing requirement of the Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad as well as the requirement of MFRS 134 interim report and other obligation, other framework of the MASB. So the interim report will be presented together with the amount with the group audited report that becomes sold in prior year ended 31st December 2021. The basis of the preparing interim report for the Nestle is use the discrete technique. The discrete technique will be used for the basis for the preparing the interim report that required under the MFRS 134 is interim reporting report. Each interim report should be considered as the spread accounting tools, spread accounting periods of in the annual cycles. Interim reports are designed to forecast and summarize the financial instruments or the financial performance or the discrete times which is made subsection of the annual period. Revenue and the expenses item must have been evaluated and recognized in the same way that annual financial statement that prepare as per a descriptive method. Since the most of the recent annual financial report, the financial report statements were consolidated and interim financial report is issued on the consolidated interim.
Two accounting policies that Nestle Malaysia Sdn Bhd use in the interim report, which are inventories and plant property and equipment. For inventories, Nestle Malaysia Sdn Bhd measured at the lower cost and net realizable value of equal as NRV. Cost of the inventories includes gain or losses on cash flow hedge for the purchase of raw materials and finished goods. NRV is the estimated selling price in the ordinary course of business, less estimated cost of completion and estimated cost of necessary to make sale. On the other hand, for plant property and equipment is valued at cost model, which is cost less with the accumulated depreciation and accumulated internal loss, if any. They use straight line method to calculate their depreciation and it applies for all their plant property and equipment.
Type of the interim report that include that we should be prepared for the company, especially all the company. All content that include that should be presented in interim report is include first will be include all of the heading and the subtotals in the company most recent of the annual financial statement. Second is the basis of the earning per share and the dilute of EPS on the face of the statements if the entity present the item of the profit and a loss in the spread of the statement. Third is selected of the explanatory notes required by MFRS 134 under the interim financial reporting is focused on the major changes in the financial situations from the previous reporting dates. And lastly, if the most of the recent annual reports or the annual of financial statements was the consolidated statement, the report should be produced on the basis as well. Type of interim report that prepared by Nestle Malaysia Berhad is: first is condenses of statement of financial position. Second is condenses of statement of comprehensive income. Third is a condenses of statement of equity. Fourth is a condenses of statement cash flow. And fifth is selected explanatory note.
The period for the current and comparative of issued statement by the company. This one we show in tabular format. Okay, for Nestle, the period for the current for Nestle Malaysia Berhad is 31st December 2021, and the comparative figure will start from 31st March 2020. And as you can see on the table, for 31st December 2021, the revenue is 5,733,860 ringgit. That one is as at 31st December. However, when we look into the interim report as at 31st March, we can see the revenue is only 1,448,773 ringgit. So that's a different. There's an increment. The revenue is increased from the March to December. That's the first thing. Okay. Actually, for the period of interim statement, we can do half from the year, and then the second one we can do third quartile. Alright. But for this Nestle Berhad, as the closing of account is 31st December, so we take first quartile, which is 31st March 2021. So the reason why we need interim report, because of from interim report we can see whether there is a mistake or not. Right, that's the first thing. And then the second one is interim report also help us to ensure all the expenses are on track. However, this thing not only help us to track the expenses, but it help also the investor, or it also help CEO to make a decision.
So lastly, we need to propose 2 adjustments to be made to be included into the new interim report that we're going to produce. So the first adjustment is on the gain on disposal of property, plant and equipment. There is gain on disposal of property, plant and equipment at a total of 4,305,000 ringgit in the fourth quarter of 2021, which is mentioned on page 8. Second adjustment is on the calculation of tax expense. As at 31st December 2021, the company estimated profit before tax for the fourth quarter is at 146,814,000 ringgit. The tax rate is calculated at 23.6%. However, the statutory tax rate is 24%. Therefore, it should be revised at 35,235,360 ringgit. So here we have the condensed audited consolidated statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 31st December 2021, which is before the adjustment. And here is the extract of the same statement after adjustments. And we can see that the operating profit, profit before tax and profit after tax have changed after the adjustments. With that, I thank you.